my friends, and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. And today is me continuing my fan coverage of the New York Giants. And well, it's been quite a season. Uh, it's the next to last game, the Giants against the Raiders. So this basically is going to determine who gets the number one overall pick in the spring draft. And because basically the Giants and the Raiders are both having an abysmal season. Both have pretty much the same record. Both are I think it's 2-2 and 13. And so basically it's like whoever loses this game gets the tiebreaker as far as who gets the number one pick. Now, no fan wants their team to intentionally lose. No fan. And, I'm one of them. I don't want them to intentionally lose this game. I hate watching them lose, to be honest. It's not exactly a pleasant experience for me. So, but, I do know the significance of having the number one overall pick. And I'm going to make some speculations here because I may have mentioned it during the last game. But so essentially, the Giants don't need a quarterback. They drafted Dart this year. Dart is playing unbelievably better than I think any of us expected him to. And he's basically he is actually not going to be, he is our quarterback for however many years he's going to last. Now, I don't know the name of the guy, but there is a quarterback coming out of the draft that's supposed to be the best one there, who is most likely going to be taken number one overall. Now, well, okay. So I'm saying that because one speculation that a lot of people are making is for the Giants to trade that number one overall pick to whoever I guess would offer the best amount of draft capital to make it worth it for them. One theory that I've been seeing, or at least one speculation I should say, is for the Giants to trade that to the Jets, because the Jets do need a quarterback. They do need their franchise quarterback because Justin Fields, I haven't watched many Jet games or any at all. Justin Fields, from what I understand, really didn't play well, and I don't even think he's playing right now. I think he's hurt. So, and of course, that was their number one. They really had nothing much after him. So, speculation is for the Giants to trade the number one pick to the Jets, and something like to the effect of like the Jets would give up their number one, their first round, their second round, and possibly future early round draft picks. That's a speculation. I mean, of course, that's nothing. That's nothing official. Neither organization has even speculated as to attempt to do that. I think it's mostly either sportcasters or fans who are that are basically predicting that this would be a deal worth making. Now, do I agree? Actually, yes, I do agree. Because the Giants don't need a quarterback. I mean, really what the Giants need, from what I've seen this year, and I'm not even going to say offensive lineman, because the line actually came together, which was a big shock to me, because I've seen them play like absolute crap for the last couple of seasons, throughout the season. And not only that, I think this is the first time the whole line stayed relatively healthy. I mean, very few changes, whereas in years past, there was an offensive lineman change like either every week or every other week because of injuries. So this is a first for them for a while. What I feel the Giants need is possibly maybe another wide receiver to be a target so that Malik Neighbors would have someone on the other side. Because I mean, okay, who do they have right now? They have Darius Slayton, who unfortunately has been erratic. They have Wan'Dale Robinson, who is a very good receiver, but they always use him in the slot. And they've had a couple of other guys. I mean, well, Jalen Hyatt, I think he's finally ran his course with the Giants, because he just doesn't seem to be good enough to get on the field. I mean, he's been through several coaching staffs, and nothing really seems to stick. But also they brought in Hodgins. He's not bad. They had Lil that guy. I think they called him Lil Humphreys. I'm not exactly entirely certain. He was good. He was good for one game, and then he kind of disappeared after that. Um, and then they have their tight ends that have been doing good. You got Johnson, who's, I mean, he's a bit erratic, but he is a good receiver. You got Bellinger, who I always thought was good, and you do have Manhurst. He is pretty much emerging into a good tight end. So they have weapons. I mean, I think their running backs are pretty much set because you got Scadaboo, who once he's healthy is probably going to be just as good, if not better. You still have Tyrone Tracy. He's pretty much the go to guy right now. You still have Singletary. I don't know if his contract's going to be up because he is still under his free agent contract. But you still have him. I mean, then there's a list of guys that always seem to be in their camp, but always seem to wind up on the practice squad. You got that guy Gray, who they drafted a couple of years ago. I always thought he was pretty good, but I guess he wasn't good enough to be on the roster. You got that guy Dante Miller, who has been on the preseason, roster for the last couple of years, but never seemed to make it to the regular roster. But everybody always praises him, so I guess that's a possibility. And then, of course, you never know what they're going to pick up with free agents along the way. So, yeah. And then, of course, defense. I think that um, a serious overhaul, possibly, of the defense, it's either the personnel or it's the coaching, one of the two, or maybe even a little both. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But they definitely need they definitely need guys who can tackle. That's number one, and maybe a couple of guys who know how to actually cover a receiver. So yeah, it's going to be quite the interesting offseason, but we're not there yet. So today we're at Las Vegas against the Raiders, which is why I guess they got the 4 o'clock game. And still, the last game of the season against the Cowboys is still to be determined. I was looking at the Giants app earlier this morning, and it still hadn't changed from to be determined. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one and what the NFL gives us. All right. So anyway, I know I'm rambling, but here, Giants and Raiders, and I'll see you at halftime. Okay, it's halftime, and the Giants are winning 17-3. They're playing a pretty good game. Although some people might call this the battle of the inept, and I'd probably be one of them. Now, again, here's the trap. There's going to be people out there that are saying they're screwing up getting the number one pick, but really, who wants their team to go out and lose? They're not going to do it intentionally. But here's the thing: we know from most of the games this year that this game is nowhere near secure because they've had fourth quarter collapses so many times and blown leads that were even bigger than this one. That even bigger than this one. It's only 17-3. So, and also, the Raiders do get the ball first, second half because they won the toss and deferred. So, this thing is far from over, of course, and this is far from guaranteed. So, basically, it's going to be a wait and see. I mean, So again, got players playing good. You do have players on the offensive line that are out. Like Andrew Thomas is once again injured. Sorry about the chiming. And I don't know. It's going to be an interesting second half. That's all I can say. So let's see what happens in the second half, and I'll see you at the end of the game. Okay, game's over, and the Giants have won 34-10. So, well, they're actually just about to be over. They're kneeling on the ball as we speak. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that are going to be very, very upset because this ruined their chance to get the number one overall pick. Well, let me just say this. I mean, these guys were not going to go out and intentionally lose because, I don't know how the coaching staff is going to be evaluated, but with the players, when they evaluate tape and if they see them intentionally trying to lose, most of those players aren't going to be around. They're not going to do that. They're going to give it their all, and so this way they could possibly be kept on to the team for the following season. That's just the way it works in the professional leagues. You don't intentionally try to lose. Now, that all that being said, I mean, it's like the one thing that that I basically am going to say that would have been nice for them to get the number one overall pick is for them to trade it for more draft picks, for multiple draft picks. That's sorry about that. That's how you build a team. That's how every team usually, every team that has a crappy season and finishes dead last. That's what they do. I mean, that's what a lot of them do actually. Um, I mean, because like I said, I mean, I'm not sure exactly who the Giants would want to go for in the first round, but I mean, they're gonna get probably a top five pick. Right? So it's I mean, and also it also depends on what they do next week against the Cowboys. And let's face it, against the Cowboys, what do they generally do? They lose. So they're probably gonna finish 3-14, most likely. And still, they're gonna get a very very high draft. They're gonna be like probably in the top five. So whoever they actually want is most likely gonna still be there. I mean, they can have like top picks for several different positions. One of them's going to be there. I mean, you can only take one of those guys. When you have your top picks, I mean, you choose the one you can get, and the rest of them are gone because they're picked by other teams. So I mean, that's really, I guess, the only downside to them not getting the number one overall is because I mean, they probably would have wound up trading it because let's face it. I mean, the big one, most people get is a quarterback. The Giants already have their quarterback. Dart's going to be their quarterback. I mean, he's played fantastic, and so they don't need a quarterback. I mean, but other teams do, and that's where they would have, gotten more draft picks to basically build a team. But still, I mean, they're still in a. I mean, they're still going to finish, like I said, probably within the top five draft picks. They're still going to get a good pick. So, I mean, the only thing, I mean, like I said, the only bad part about it is that they can't use that number one overall to try to get more draft picks. And even so, even if they did, there's no guarantee that all those draft picks are going to pan out. That's the thing about the draft is I mean, heck, I mean, the announcers were just saying today, the last time the Raiders had the number one draft pick, who did they pick? Jamarcus Russell. He was a bust. He was. I mean, they basically. I remember a story they gave. That they told about this guy because they said this guy didn't study. That he didn't do any of the work he was supposed to be doing. He didn't study film or I think so. The story they said is that they gave him. They allegedly gave him film on a flash drive to evaluate and and come in and and basically be prepared. But what they did instead was they gave him a blank flash drive just to see what would happen. And so when he came back, now again, this is a story that I heard. They said when he came back, like the next day, they asked him if he learned anything from the film. And he's like, oh yeah, I learned a lot. And that's when they knew he wasn't studying the film. He wasn't doing anything that needed to be done, and he was always unprepared because he just wasn't paying attention. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So yeah, sometimes that number one overall isn't all that great. But anyway, regardless, the Giants won 34-10, and next week they play the Cowboys. It is a home game. It's, from what I've seen, still to be determined. I hope they have it on a Sunday at 1:00. Get it done nice and early. But we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. Thank you for enduring this with me all season. If you know any other Giants fans who'd like to see fan coverage, please share it with them. Like, subscribe, and share. And I guess I'll see you all next week when we play the Cowboys. Take care of yourselves and just take a deep breath. I think we'll be okay.